Riyadh. Sababu nimepatikana na mfano watachukua. Mniokoe. Mira una sonde peri agar le peri ne kaapatenge. Kuna friends wetu tulikuwa nao. Sasa after wamecomplain, walirushwa nje, hatujui mali walipelekwa wawili, hatujui hadi wako wapi. Juu huku hivi ukicomplain, hatujui pale mtu anapelekwa, unapotea tu hivyo.
My name is Fauzia Wanjiro. I'm a mother of 2 beautiful daughters. I live in Kamkunji. I'm a community volunteer. I used to work in the community also. I was in college where I did diploma in computer engineering. I was like jobless, without job. I finished college, then I'm struggling here and there, looking for something to do. Then a friend of mine told me like there's a job, receptionist job in Qatar. I was so happy when I was told the amount being paid there. So I sat down and thought like I should give it a try. So I had to travel, but things changed on the way because I found myself in Saudi Arabia as a domestic house worker there. So I was a bit confused with what I was being promised and told in Kenya, like this is what you're going to get and whatever I get there. So it confused me already. Finding myself in Saudi Arabia, it changed me also because I'm in a foreign country. I don't know their language. They're speaking to me Arabic, which I don't understand. They're fast to communicate with them. So the delay of communication, my probation time went off. When it ended, that's when life changed because they felt like you don't need to do something else. You're here to work. You must finish your contract because if you left before the probation time, they will take you back. But now if you already finished the probation, they won't take you back. So that's when I started staying with them, and they were like, when they eat their food, they don't give it to you. They give you leftovers. Then I used to cry a lot and say, I wish I was in my country where I could get something small and something fresh. Not like whatever they are eating, then they give you leftovers. They kept the food in their fridge and they will take it like a week, 2 weeks, and they still request you to eat that food, of which for them they cannot eat. It was Ramadan where you're supposed to work. They don't sleep at all. So you'll work 18 hours non-stop. You don't have anything else to do. You just work. You only sleep for 4 hours. After those 4 hours, they come and wake you up. Now you're supposed to work. Then they'll exchange you within the family. They say like, you work here in this house, you finish your job, then go and help my daughter to do this. Then you're being taken to another house to work. By the time you're so tired, they don't think of you as a human being. They think you as a slave to them. You find small kids, they abuse you a lot. The boys on the house, they know you're a slave to them. You don't have anything to say to them. You can't confront them. When you iron clothes, you iron the whole family clothes. You can take even 5 hours, 6 hours ironing clothes. You don't rest that much. Then you find others, they mistreat you like, okay, you find other men. They are telling you like, you know, you're beautiful. We know you're beautiful. No, can you do, if they ask for favors, which it's not allowed because if you do that favor they want, you'll be jailed. Or the woman in the house, she'll kill you. I stayed there, then came a family member of them who used to talk to me English. He was better off, he studied outside their country. Then he requested me to go and look after their sick mother. So I used to take care of their mother each and every day, doing all the houseworks and checking after their mom. All those jobs you're still doing, and sleeping time is still the same. They don't do anything for you. Like, I went the contract 8 months, I wasn't paid. I never called home, so everyone in my family knew. There were cases like 3 of the ladies, Kenyan ladies, have died in Saudi Arabia. So everyone in my family was like, my mom was like, is that my daughter? So she doesn't have any communication. She never knew even the house I went to work. My mom used to go to that agency and say, where is my daughter? Where can I speak to my daughter? They'll tell, okay, next week come, we'll give you the contacts. Next week she'll go, and nothing at all. They'll say, no, the boss is not around, you just come next week. Until the day I left, their house went to their brother's house where I used to work to look after their mother. They gave me a phone to call my mom. Then that time I called like everyone in my family. Everyone wasn't picking the call. So I cried a lot, like, why am I calling? Is it something wrong home? I don't understand what was happening. So I cried a lot, and then I called a neighbor. I used to have my neighbor's number. So I called. So my neighbor was the one who picked and say, I told him like, okay, go to my mom's place, tell her to call the number back. Because I cannot call. I was just given a minute to call, and if no one is available, so they won't give me the call again to call someone else. So he went and called my mother. So my mother called me back, and he was like, how are you doing? Are you okay? Do you need to come back home? Can I do so many things for you to come back? Then I was like, I don't need to come back at this time, because I'm still focusing on my kid. What will I come home and tell my kid? At that time I was like, how can I tell my kid? What will I say? I went for work now. It's almost an year. I have nothing to offer to my daughter. So what will I do? Then my mom will be like, and will I able to communicate to you again? I said, I don't know. If they let me, I'll communicate to you. If they don't, just know I'm very much okay. And know that I'm a strong girl. I'll make it. And I used to pray and cry a lot. So after I finished my contract, I asked them, can you let me leave now? They said, no. You need to add up 1 year, then you can leave, so we can be able to get another maid to come and work for us. So I never left, because I promised my mom after 2 years I'll be back home, of which I never came back after those 2 years. So I had to add up another year, whereby I stayed. I was misused. They used to tell me so many things. I used to cry, but I don't have someone to cry to. Until one day I decided to leave their house and go outside. So I went on the street. I found police. They asked me, do you speak Arabic? I said, I don't know Arabic, but I can speak English. Then they said, okay, for us, we don't know English, but we'll take you there and you'll go and explain. So I went to the police station, and I stayed there for 3 weeks. They called my boss, and my boss was like, don't let her leave. We still need her. Then I said, let me go. I need to see my family. I need to go. I'm tired of you guys. They said, no. The boss says, I'll start saying, I'll accuse you of stealing. I'll say this and this. You won't go back to your country. So you have to come back and work with us for 1 year, then we'll send you home. I said, no, I'll never leave. So in the police station came another police. I don't know, maybe he left. He was studying in US. Then he came and asked, what is the issue? Then for him, I felt like now I have someone to talk to, because he understands me more English, because the other one, they don't understand me. So I talked to him. I tell him my story, and he was like, okay, let me go. I'll go to your embassy and I'll look for someone who can help you to go back to your country. And that's what happened. He went and talked to someone. Then someone from the embassy came and asked me, what do you want? I said, I want to go back home. Then he was like, what will you go home with? I said, even if I have nothing to go home with, maybe when I feel home, it will be best for me, because I'll be seeing my daughter. I'll be having the small thing that my family has. And I won't be living the same life I'm living here today. Then he said, okay, we'll go and work on that. They went and took like 2 weeks. Then the same man came and asked me, they haven't done anything to you? I said, not yet. He went back to the embassy and asked, what are you planning for this girl? That's when he went asked for the embassy. Then the boss came again. So what have you decided? Are you going to come back? Are you going to do this? I said, no, I'm not going to come back to work. I need to go home. I need to see my daughter. I need to see my family. They promised, like, if you come back, we're going to pay you all your salary. We're going to do everything for you. I said, I've been there. You have never paid me. I always tell you, I've worked for that salary, but you're begging for your salary because they don't want to give it to you. So after that, they came and say, like, okay, that Arabian say, now you see, you'll go home. He said, I'll pay your fare. I'll do everything. So I was deported back to my country.
Perhatian, panggilan terakhir penumpang pesawat Qatar Airways dengan nomor penerbangan KR 959 tujuan Doha.
When I came home, I never told anyone I was coming home. So I reached home without saying anything. I reached at the airport and I had nothing to take me even home. So I had to talk to someone, like, I need to go home from here and it's very far. Help me with some shillings. Maybe one day I'll come back and repay you. So he paid for me. I went home. I met everyone at home, but no one knew it was me. So everyone was crying, like, what did you go to do there? My mom was like, why did you go? I've been in so many activities and I'm being given that chance to talk to them. I even met some strange person, neighbor, called me like, okay, let me ask you one thing. Then I was like, ask. When I look at you, I see like you're someone who has left your country and goes somewhere outside. I said, yes. He said, I have a family member now who wants to go. He said he wants to go to Qatar and work in Qatar. I asked him which job is going to take her there, or which job is going to, she's going to do. She said she's being promised a lot. I told him I was promised a lot. I knew I was going for a better job, but when I reached there, it was something different. Then he begged me like, can you have a time? Then I can call her. Then you sit down and talk to her. I met her. I talked to her. I was like, what are you going to do? She said, I've been promised a job, a very nice job in a salon where I'll be working for 150 Kenya money. I said, how much are you giving for commission? Because a job like this, you need a commission. She said, 150. I told her, my sister, that 150, try to do something. Take the money, start a job, start a simple job in your country, and be proud of who you are. Then she was like, I say, maybe they'll tell you that, but when you go outside, they'll give you something else. You'll think you're going there, then you'll be taken to a house. What are you going to do? If you want to go to work outside the country, start with your house. I tell her, start with your house. You know the small things you avoid doing in your house? That's what you're going to do there. You don't clean the handle door, you don't clean the ceiling, you don't do you don't care because it's your house. It's a very simple. But when you go there, they'll tell you clean the ceiling, clean the toilet with a toothbrush, clean the floor with a brush. You all do sort of things. Can you do that? Can you handle that? Then she asked me, so that's what I'm supposed to do? I said, yes, that's what you're going to do.
أشرقت نفسي بنور من فؤادي حينما رددت يا رب العباد وانتشت روحي وصار الدمع يجري يا إلهي خذ بقلبي للرشاد أشرقت نفسي بنور من فؤادي حينما رددت يا رب العباد، وانتشت روحي وصار الدمع يجري. يا إلهي خذ بقلبي للرشاد. أشرقت نفسي بنور من فؤادي حينما رددت يا رب العباد، وانتشت روحي وصار الدمع يجري. يا إلهي خذ بقلبي للرشاد. في سكون العين أدعو في سجودي، والدجى حولي سواد في سوادي. يا رؤوفا يا رحيما يا حليما يا كريما ما لفضلك